The number of visitors in a science exhibition on different days of a week is shown below. Look at the above pictograph and answer the following question. What is the total number of visitors from Monday to Saturday?
Bravo 5300 is the answer.
The incomplete pictograph in diagram 14 shows the number of mobile phones sold by 4 shops S, T, U, and V. The 4 shops together sold 600 of mobile phones. How many mobile phones were sold by shops? You got it? Your choice 200 is right.
Miss Lee's science class collected data on the color of third-grade students' eyes. The students created a bar graph with this information. How many more students had blue eyes than green eyes?
Sharp thinking. 20 is the right choice. The pie chart in diagram 39 shows the number of televisions sold by 4 shops, S, T, U, and V. If shop U sold 66 televisions, what is the total number of televisions sold by 4 shops? Nice work. You chose 6660 and it is correct. Figure 5 shows the number of patients that visited a private clinic for treatment in 1 week. What is the total number of patients that visited the clinic within that week? Solid response. 1950 is a valid choice. A florist recorded the number and cost of flower bouquets that were sold daily and recorded the data below. What is the frequency of a bouquet that cost at least $40? Smart pick. 2 is the correct choice. The pie chart in diagram 49 shows the method of transportation used by pupils of a school. The school has 230 pupils. What is the range of the number of pupils?
Perfect. 69 is the correct choice.
The pie chart in diagram 50 shows the number of storybooks owned by 4 boys. The total number of storybooks is 40. How many storybooks does Tajuddin have? Well picked. 12 is the correct answer. Following frequency distribution table shows marks obtained in English by 45 students of class 5. Which 2 classes have the same frequency? You chose 10-20 and 40-50, and it is correct. The pictograph shows the number of books sold by a leading bookstore in 4 different months. How many more books were sold in March than in February? Nicely done. 12 is a solid answer. Diagram 35 is a bar chart showing the number of storybooks owned by 4 boys. What is the range of the number of storybooks owned by the 4 boys? Nice selection. 28 is the correct and valid answer. Diagram 27 is a bar chart showing the number of storybooks owned by 4 boys. What is the range of the number of storybooks owned by the 4 boys? Well done, 36 is the right choice. Diagram 28 is a bar chart showing the number of storybooks owned by 4 boys. What is the maximum number of storybooks owned by the 4 boys? Strong choice. 10 is the right answer. The below bar graph shows the monthly expenditure of Rajesh family on various household items. How much Rajesh spent on food and transport? Smart move. 4,000 is an accurate answer. The bar chart in diagram 15 shows the number of students from year 3 to year 6 in a school. Which level has the most number of students? You're right. Year 3 is the correct answer. According to the above pictograph showing favorite food of the children in a class, how many less children like hamburger than pizza? Exactly. 5 equal to 3 less makes sense, and it is right choice. The pictograph in diagram 16 shows Ensik Kamaruddin's expenditure of a month. Which of the item he spent 30/10 of his expenditure on it? Valid point. Rental is true. Diagram 29 is a bar chart showing the marks scored by 4 students in a mathematics test. Calculate the average mark of each student.
On track, 55 is the correct answer.
At Dominique's Donuts, the number of donut holes in a bag can vary. Help Dominique find the mode 12, 10, 10, 10, 13, 12, 11, 13, 10.
Right choice. 10 is the best answer.
Diagram 30 is a bar chart showing the marks scored by 4 students in a mathematics test. Who scored the highest mark in their test?
Correct response. Bo is the most accurate answer. Figure 2 shows 5 societies participated by students on a co-curricular day. How many students are there on that day? Clear logic. Your choice 125 is sound and 100% true. Based on this graph, how many more sunny days than rainy days did the city have during the months of April, May, and June? Correct. 21 is the right answer.
What is the difference between Raju and Nora's math scores? What is the difference between Raju and Nora's math scores?
Excellent choice. 5 is the right answer.
The graph shows the number of colored beads used to make a necklace. How many purple and green beads were used in all?
Great job. 15 is the accurate answer.
The pictograph shows the numbers of goals scored by 4 soccer teams in a season. How many goals did kickers score?
Right again. 20 is a valid answer.
Students voted for their favorite ice cream topping. How many more students chose marshmallows than chose nuts?
Good job. Your answer 6 works well here.
The teacher wants to have 40 more pencils than erasers. How many more pencils does the teacher need to buy?
Well reasoned. 20 is the correct choice.
The weights of newborn babies in a hospital on a particular day are as follows: 2.3, 2.2, 2.1, 2.7, 2.6, 3.0, 2.5, 2.9, 2.8, 3.5, 2.8, 2.7, 2.9, 2.4. How many babies weigh more than 2.8 kgs?
Good thinking.
4 is the right answer.
Rosie collected data about his classmate favorite animal. How many friends who likes parrot as pet?
Great thinking. 11 is the right choice. True or false? The maximum number of tickets sold is 3 times the minimum number of tickets sold.
Excellent. False is a brilliant choice.
Questions 7 to 10 are based on the table given below. Q7. Find the median of people watching sports.
On track. 470 is the correct answer.
According to the double bar graph, how many students together like mango and chocolate ice cream?
You're right. 40 is the correct answer.
This tally chart shows learners' favorite animals. How many learners like tiger and deer?
Bravo! 26 is the answer.
Refer to the following bar graph and answer the question: which game is the least popular? Valid point. Track is true.
How much is the school in the school? Which form has the largest number in the school? Right choice. Form 1 is the best answer.
A class consists of 42 students. 7 students like drawing, 12 students like dancing, 10 students like painting, and the rest students like singing. Find the mode of the data above.
Exactly. Singing makes sense, and it is right choice.
The table shows the typical daily temperature in a city in the last 5 months. Which month has the median temperature? Month temperature: January 34, February 49, March 37, April 47, May 42.
Good job. Your answer May works well here.
Look at the given tally marks chart. How many birds did Sarah count on Friday?
Good thinking. 6 is the right answer.
Ramesh bakes cakes to sell at a cafe. How many cakes did he bake on Tuesday?
You got it? Your choice 35 is right.
According to the shown picture, which subject does students like the least?
Nice selection. Social studies is the correct and valid answer.
The total audiences is 200 people. The most favorite movie is Dash.
Nicely done. Romance is a solid answer.
How many total pizzas were sold by Pepper's Pizza and Pizza House? Excellent. 120 is a brilliant choice.
How many more girls chose track as the favorite sport than boys? Great job. 3 is the accurate answer.
In which days were the maximum and minimum number of toys sold?
Clear logic. Your choice Saturday and Tuesday is sound and 100% true. How many tickets of Assam State Lottery were sold by the agent? Smart move. 40 tickets is an accurate answer.
What is the total number of pupils in Primary 2 and Primary 5?
Correct response. 495 is the most accurate answer.
How many more learners chose mango drink than pineapple drink?
Well done. 15 is the right choice.
How many students were greater than or equal to 60 inches tall?
Correct. 11 is the right answer. What is the number of persons employed in government service? Well reasoned. 30,000 is the correct choice.
The average weight of a group of 9 people was 50 kg. A man joined the group. Now, the average weight of the group is 51 kg. The weight of the man is dash kg.
Solid response. 60 is a valid choice.
Look at this pictogram. How many cupcakes sold on Wednesday? Strong choice. 24 is the right answer. State whether the following data is categorical or numerical. Perfect. Categorical data is the correct choice. How many students ride in a car and walk to school combined? Excellent choice. 50 is the right answer. Soccer ball score from Adam. Number of goals scored by Adam. Smart pick. 14 is the correct choice. How many students like strawberry and vanilla ice creams? You chose 20, and it is correct. How many students spent 7 hours doing homework that week? Nice work. You chose 6, and it is correct. What is the increase in total car from year 2015 to 2017? Great thinking. 4,000 is the right choice.
What was the highest number of goals scored in a match?
Right again. 1 is a valid answer. How much buses were manufactured in the month of June? Well picked. 1,600 is the correct answer. How many more children choose soccer than basketball?
Sharp thinking. 2 is the right choice.
Jack's science book has 10 chapters. The number of pages in each chapter is given below. What is the median? 25, 11, 9, 18, 21, 24, 16, 13, 30, 12. Good thinking. 17 is the right answer. What is the most popular mode of transport to work? You got it! Your choice car is right.
People buy more drinks on Dash than any other day. Exactly. Friday makes sense, and it is right choice.
Which 2 books are equally liked by the children?
Well done. Puzzle. Poem is the right choice.
How many people like football more than swimming?
Right again. 10 is a valid answer.
Which interval shows the greatest number of pets?
Smart pick. 1519 is the correct choice.
Which two levels have an equal number of pupils?
Sharp thinking. Primary 2 and 4 is the right choice.
How long did it take this object to travel 10?
Well reasoned. 20s is the correct choice.
Which primary has 60 more pupils than primary 2?
Excellent choice. Primary 6 is the right answer.
How many pencils do Frank and Henry have in all?
Good job. Your answer 10 works well here.
How many more cakes on Wednesday and Thursday? Well picked. 25 cakes is the correct answer.
In a test Ken, Harry and Sarah scored an average of 75 marks. Ken obtained 80 marks and Sarah obtained 72 marks. Harry obtained dash marks.
Solid response. 73 is a valid choice.
How many tortoises are there in this picture?
You're right. 3 is the correct answer.
Find mean of people participating in sports.
Perfect. 323 is the correct choice.
What is the range of miniature golf scores?
You chose 44 points, and it is correct. The mean of cake sales every day is dash.
Valid point 37 is true.
On the scale of 1 unit length equal to 10 crore, the bar of length 6 units will represent dash crore and of Eshe units will represent 75 crore.
Nice selection. 67.5 is the correct and valid answer. When a cricket team is compared with another team for their performance as a team, the most suitable measure of central tendency is dash.
Excellent. Mean is a brilliant choice.
How many strawberries does Sarais have?
Strong choice. 9 is the right answer.
Which day had more minutes of homework? Smart move. Thursday is an accurate answer.
It is the branch of mathematical science that deals with the collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data.
Clear logic. Your choice, statistics, is sound and 100% true.
Is the appropriate representative for the high recording of students? Which chart is most suitable to record the height of students?
Great job. Carter Palingbar chart is the accurate answer. Which food was the most popular food?
Right choice. Chicken nuggets is the best answer. To represent the population of different towns using bar graph, it is convenient to take 1 unit length to represent one person.
Bravo.
False is the answer.
The average of Tina's money and Gita's money is up 50,100. Tina has up 10,000 ordered more than Gita. How much money does Tina have?
Nicely done. 55 dozen is a solid answer.
Is this a bar chart or histogram?
On track. Bar chart is the correct answer.
Given tally marks show how much?
Great thinking. 13 is the right choice.
Is primary or secondary data needed for this action? How many students like maths, social, science, and English in your class?
Correct response. Primary data is the most accurate answer.
This pic is showing junk food.
Nice work.
You chose false, and it is correct.
Classify the following data as primary or secondary data on favorite food of students obtained directly from the students.
Correct. Primary data is the right answer.
Data that cannot be measured numerically, but can be described and grouped according to characteristic, is known as dash.
You're right. Categorical is the correct answer.
The followings are the score of 5 tests: 90B, 80, 97, 70, 70. If the average of those scores is 86, the value B is dash.
Clear logic. Your choice 86 is sound and 100% true.
Who painted more eggs? Excellent. Jacob is a brilliant choice.
Look at a set of the following data: A dash, 85, 90, 80, 75, 70, 80, 80, 100, 75, 65. Find the mean of the data.
Valid. Point 80 is true. Representation of data using rectangles of uniform width and equal spacing between them is called dash.
Right again. Bar graph is a valid answer.
Number of times an observation has occurred in a given data is dash of an observation.
You chose frequency, and it is correct.
Frequency of 5 in the given data 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 9, 1, 3, 5, 4, 3, 0, 10, 2, 4, 6.
Correct response. 3 is the most accurate answer.
Arranging the numerical figures in an ascending and descending order is called an dash.
Perfect. Array is the correct choice.
Listing of data in the form in which it was collected. Then, the data is known as
Sharp thinking. Raw data is the right choice.
Right, true, or false data obtained in the original form is known as raw data.
Nice work. You chose true, and it is correct.
What is the term for the process of representing data in the form of pictures?
Strong choice. Pictograph is the right answer.
Which of the following is the mode of data 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 1?
Excellent choice. 1 is the right answer.
what is the term for the process of organizing, analyzing, and managing data? Nicely done. Data handling is a solid answer. Dash is a collection of numbers gathered to give some meaningful information. Nice selection. Data is the correct and valid answer. A graphical representation of numerical data in the form of rectangular bars.
Bravo. Bar graph is the answer.
In a bar chart, a bar of length 4 cm is drawn if 1 mm is 1.5. What will 4 mm be?
Well picked. 6 is the correct answer. What is the median of data for 6, 64, 87, 41, 58, 735, 90, 55, 39, 2?
Smart pick. 58 is the correct choice.
Right, true, or false of the median is always one of the numbers in the data.
Great thinking. False is the right choice.
In a pictograph, one picture equal to 80 cars, then 24 80 cars is equal to dash pictures.
Exactly. 31 makes sense and it is right choice.
Given data is seek 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 4, 2. The mode is
Correct. 4 is the right answer.
The number of times an observation occurs in a data is called its dash.
On track. Frequency is the correct answer.
The number of times a particular observation occurs is called its dash.
Right choice. Mode is the best answer.
Say true, or false data obtained in original form is called raw data? Good thinking. True is the right answer.
The rectangles used to represent data in a bar graph are called dash.
You got it. Your choice bars is right.
Dash refers to the information in the form of numerical figures.
Smart move. Data is an accurate answer. Data that is collected directly from the customer is secondary.
Great job. False is the accurate answer.
Which among the following is not a measure of central tendency?
Solid response. Range is a valid choice.
What is the range of the following NASDA 12, 19, 29, 39, 192, 01? Good job. Your answer 191 works well here.
The data not collected directly from the source is called dash.
Well reasoned. Secondary data is the correct choice. Find the median for the set of numbers 23, 37, 11, 58, 13, 4, 5.
Well done. 30 is the right choice.
What do we call the data represented in the form of pictures?
Perfect. Pictograph is the correct choice.
Bars in a bar graph can be drawn vertically and horizontally.
On track. True is the correct answer.
Information in the form of numerical figures is called dash.
Right choice. Data is the best answer.
12, 2, 13, 18, 2, 10, 1 is the mode of this data set.
Great job. 2 is the accurate answer.
Which of the following is not always a part of the graph?
You got it. Your choice average is right.
Find the mean of the numbers below 0.18756476.
Correct. 5.5 is the right answer.
Representation of data in the form of pictures is called.
You're right. Pictograph is the correct answer.
What is the mean of these numbers? 4552332A.
Bravo. 4 is the answer.
The space between two bars in a bar graph should be equal.
Good job. Your answer true works well here.
The bars used to count the frequencies are called dash.
Well done. Tally marks is the right choice.
The range of the data 21, 6, 17, 18, 12, 8, 4, 13 is.
Strong choice. 17 is the right answer. The probability of an event always lies between dash.
Well reasoned. 0 and 1 is the correct choice.
The dash of each bar gives the required information.
You chose length, and it is correct.
Data means information in the form of dash figures.
Great thinking. Numerical is the right choice.
Find the mean if the sum of 18 observations is 90.
Correct response. 5 is the most accurate answer.
In a bar graph, space between rectangles is always.
Smart pick. Equal is the correct choice.
Find the mean of these numbers 2, 57, 38, 4, 2, 6.
Clear logic. Your choice 29 is sound and 100% true.
What is the mean of x, x plus 3, x plus 6, plus 9, and x plus 12?
Right again. X plus 6 is a valid answer.
Each numerical figure in a data is called dash.
Sharp thinking. Observation
is the right choice.
What is the range of first 20 natural numbers?
Valid point. 19 is true. The probability of an impossible event is dash. Exactly. 0 makes sense and it is right choice.
What is the mean of first 10 prime numbers?
Solid response. 12/9 is a valid choice.
Tally marks refers to the collection of 5. Nice work. You chose true and it is correct. Each item in raw data is called a ORAN. Nice selection. Observation is the correct and valid answer.
How do you group tally marks together?
Nicely done. By fives is a solid answer. 6, 9, 5, 7, 8, 9 above data is dash.
Good thinking. Raw data is the right answer.
Number of times an observation occurs.
Excellent choice. Frequency is the right answer. The probability of a sure event is
Smart move. 1 is an accurate answer.
In a bar graph, bars are made dash.
excellent. Sometimes horizontally, sometimes vertically is a brilliant choice.
Hobie mirrored students' hobbies.
Well picked. Data categorical data is the correct answer. Data collected from a book.
Well picked. Secondary data is the correct answer.
Google search is an
Excellent. Secondary data is a brilliant choice. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
You're right. Contact Narayan Changder on Facebook is the correct answer.